forever Jersey girl, but I was ready to get out of my comfort zone because I felt stuck. I felt like I didn't know who I was anymore. Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of PJ Podcast. As you know, we're going to get real on this podcast and talk about different experiences. Today, I'm going to talk about my experience and what I'm going through right now, how I got out of my comfort zone and I moved from New Jersey to Florida. I want to give you a little backstory of who I am. I am Portuguese and Indian. My parents were born in Africa, Mozambique, and I am a first-generation American. In this episode, I want to talk about how I'm 30 years old, I'm single. It's a little difficult because everyone around you on social media, friends, family, who are my age are either engaged, married, or is having a baby. Not me. I'm still trying to figure out my life. I decided to take a step forward, which was very hard. I've been going to Florida back and forth for many years. I actually used to live here about 6 years ago, but I was a kid. I was 23 years old. I was just trying to figure out my life, but I had a very different mentality. I came here because my parents had bought an apartment. I was in between jobs. I hated my other job. I quit. I was a hot mess. But we all go through that in life, right? We're a hot mess. I'm still a hot mess. Let's be honest. So when I came here about 6 years ago, it was very different. I was living at my parents' apartment. I gave myself about a month to find a job. And thankfully, after a week I was here, I was able to find a job as a receptionist. And it was actually pretty cool. Yes, I wasn't getting paid what I'm supposed to at 22, 23, according to society. You know, society has that pressure of, well, you have to be paid at this time and this rate right after college and this. No, that's not me. We shouldn't give in to that pressure. Anyways, I was here for about a year. I made a lot of friends. I had fun. But then I was ready to go back home. I got really homesick. So then I stayed in New Jersey for about 6 more years. I did grow up in New Jersey. I was born and raised forever Jersey girl. But I was ready to get out of my comfort zone because I felt stuck. I felt like I didn't know who I was anymore. And I need to let go of the past. That was very difficult for me. Obviously, I was anxious and am I doing the right move? I don't know anyone. Yes, I have my friends here, but it's very different when you go from your comfort zone to a completely new place. I was here back and forth for about 2 years, but it's very different when you take that step forward. So I work from home. I'm a project manager, and I think working from home has its pros and cons. And I was going a little crazy because I wasn't leaving my house after COVID. And that's a different episode, how working from home is great, but at the same time, it's not. I decided that I want to be independent. I'm ready to leave my parents' home. Yes, I'm very grateful for my parents. They've done a lot for me. But it's time for me, Pinky, to start writing my own story. I took the step, and here I am. I am now in South Florida. I'm a Sagittarius. Shout out to all my Sagittarius people. I am the type of person who loves to travel. I get up and go. I don't think twice. If I have to travel, do something, I'm there. I study abroad. That's my first time I was away from home for 6 months in a different country that I didn't know the language. I studied the language that year. That's, again, I'll talk more about it in a different episode. I was always very independent. I don't know, one day I decided, okay, it's time for you to leave. It's time for you to let go of the past. It's time for you to transform into this person that you always wanted to be. But you know in your mind, New Jersey's not the place for you. I got back surgery about 6 months ago. That also stopped the process a little bit. And I guess the universe was telling me it's not the time yet. You know when the time to go. But my goal was to be in Florida on New Year's 2023. And I made that goal happen. And a lot of people were saying, why? Why are you going? You need to start settling. You're going to come back. It's not going to work. And you know when those negative thoughts come to you, like, yeah, maybe they're right. And I'm like, no. I'm not going to prove to these people that I am going to be able to do this. And I'm going to do it for me. I'm not going to keep going the same cycle over and over again, being in New Jersey, waking up, working from home, being at my parents' house, not having that freedom that I need to grow. Unfortunately, when I was going to take this trip, my mom was going to come with me and take the train down, but my grandma passed away right before Christmas. So I had two options. One, wait for her to come, and that would be about mid-January, or two, take the trip by myself. And I decided, no, you're going to take this trip by yourself. My sister came to visit me for my birthday week. My birthday's in December. We had a big party because I turned 30. He was like, why don't you come to North Carolina? Drive down to North Carolina. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. It's scary going all the way to North Carolina and then coming to Florida by myself. I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. So I went with her to North Carolina. We drove. I followed them. It took about 11 hours. I wasn't sure how my body was going to react because I just had lower back surgery. So I packed up my car and I said, let's go. I didn't even know what I packed. Everything happened so quick. I knew it was going to happen, but everything happened so quick because I was not supposed to leave for another week, and it got cut short, and I left 3 days later. So I had no idea what I had in my car, to be honest. I don't know what I left behind. I just know I had the essentials that I needed. So we got to North Carolina, spent a few days with my sister. We got super sick with this cold that kept lingering on for about 3 weeks. So that just added more to that, me being anxious. So my body wasn't reacting well. I was sick. I'm anxious. I'm afraid. Am I doing the right thing? And I just had to calm down and be like, yes, you're going to be okay. New Year's Day, I wake up and it's like, all right, here we go. Here's your adventure. Here's your healing journey is going to start. Your transformation. This new pinky is going to come about. So I made the trip down 12 hours. I stopped about twice because I had like this goal. And once I have a goal in mind, I'm going. I'm not stopping. No one's stopping me. But yes, I was feeling very anxious, and I started to feel homesick right there and then on my drive down. I was like, shit, I want to go home. And then I was like, no, you have to do this. I mean, I left my family behind. I left my nieces and nephews behind. I left my parents behind. But nowadays, there's so much technology. There's FaceTime. I could always get on a plane and go see them. So I finally got down here. It was around midnight, and I went to sleep. I felt calm. But the next day, I think that's when it all hit me because I grew up in a house my whole life. I really never lived in an apartment. And when you live in an apartment with all these rules and now, you're living with other people, you have an elevator, there's just too much going on. In a house, you're there, it's your own house. You can do whatever the hell you want. If you want to unpack, leave your car wherever you want. Not here. So I woke up and I had to unpack my car by myself. How the hell was I going to do this? I just had back surgery. And I kept remembering my therapist be like, just be careful. Don't pick up everything. So I'm like, yeah. I'm a stubborn one. So I unpacked everything. The car can only be in a certain position for about 10 minutes. I was by myself. I didn't have mommy or daddy to help me. I didn't have a friend here to take everything out. So I made about 5 trips up and down with this stupid little shopping cart. And I needed groceries because I didn't have anything, right? So I went to Walmart and Publix, and I didn't realize that the snowbirds had just come down that week. And it was just so freaking packed everywhere. There was traffic. There's people everywhere. I was so anxious at Walmart. I literally grabbed everything that I had in my hand. I left it and I left. I said, I can't do this right now. I was in panic mode. There's so many emotions that I was going through that I didn't know how to handle myself. I don't really talk to people about my emotions, what I'm feeling. Usually people ask, how are you doing? I'm great. I'm fine. Everything's cool. So this is the first time I'm actually talking about this experience openly. The only people that really know what was going on was my sisters. I'm a Zumba instructor, and Zumba is my go-to for therapy. And I couldn't even go to Zumba. It was the weirdest thing. I was so afraid of even leaving my apartment for some reason. I have my car here. My car is my comfort. I had everything that was meant to be comfort. And this is not like an apartment that I've never been to, a country that I never been to. This is my apartment that I've had for years. I've been going back and forth, but this time was different. I don't know how to explain what I was feeling. I was able to calm myself down by meditating. I do Reiki. I have my crystals. I'm a very spiritual person. And I just kept telling myself, it's going to be okay. You're going through a lot of emotions. This is different now. Your brain is telling you, this is not home. This is not your comfort zone. go home, go back. And I kept telling myself, no, I was fighting with myself. No, I'm going to stay here. And this is my home now. New Jersey is my past. This is my present, and this is going to be my future. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to have that fear. Mental health is super important to be aware of. Like, yes, it was a big step for me. And I started to feel anxious and started having panic attacks. I remember this one time I woke up fine. I worked from home, was just working, and all of a sudden I felt sick. I started sweating. I was like, I'm gonna pass out. I literally just had breakfast. I was fine. I went to the bathroom, a little TMI, I had diarrhea. I was just sitting in the bathroom with my head down, sweating and trying to breathe. I couldn't breathe. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I didn't know what to do. I was alone. And then I called my sister and she just told me to calm down, breathe. So I started breathing. I started meditating and started listening to my calming music. It's been difficult. I'm not gonna lie. I went back to New Jersey for a weekend because I had an event, a Zoom event. I knew it wasn't gonna be a good idea because I was going to my comfort zone, but then I had to leave. I still have my ups and downs. I'm still in Florida. I'm fighting. I'm trying to become stronger every day. You know, it's the little things in life that you don't realize and you appreciate when you're living at home. It's like doing laundry. I live in an apartment with a bunch of people on the floor. Have to figure out when can I do laundry when it's not occupied. Bringing groceries up. No, this is not a house. It's an apartment. Bring the shopping carts. I have to bring the shopping carts back down. You know, it's the little things in life that you don't realize that I miss a lot. I miss, you know, sometimes being with my parents on the couch and watching TV, even though we're on our phones, or I know there's the present and I'm sitting on my couch by myself. But you know what? I know this is going to be great. This new Pinky, this new story is going to be written. And I just want to let you guys know that if you're going through this, if you want to take that step forward, but you're afraid, it's okay. Being afraid is fine. It's time to transform yourself. It's time to take that step forward. I've been very anxious, but I'm learning how to cope with it. And you're going to see throughout this podcast, a lot of people have anxiety, have depression, have panic attacks, and everyone copes differently. And I want to share these stories with you guys to tell you, like, hey, it's okay. If you're going through it, you're going to be okay. You're not alone in this journey. And I'm here to help you guys. I'm finally finding myself. I'm finding my niche a little bit. I go through waves. It's like a roller coaster ride. One day I could be fine. The next day I'm telling myself, I'm packing my bags. I'm going back home. You know, it's just a battle between myself. And this is my healing journey. Stay tuned for many more stories. I'm going to start talking about my back surgery, how that took a whole toll on me, a body image that I've been through a lot, bullying, and there's other stories that I have guests to come on. So stay tuned for more episodes.